Hello and welcome to this month's favorites and wrap-ups, where I talk about all of the things that I loved, new purchases. I give you reviews of new decks that I worked with this month and just give you an update of my life in general. I've time-stamped everything down below, so just feel free to watch whatever you wish. So I'm going to start with my favorite book of this month was A Matter of Temptation by Stacey Reid. It's an historical romance with two main characters that are just really good people, and they respect each other and admire each other and support each other. And so if that's up your alley, I highly recommend it. It was fantastic. Some things that I purchased this month were these mushroom earrings in both gold and silver, and they were from Etsy. And I do love them. They are really good quality and I'm happy with that purchase. But for Etsy in general, I have been burned a few times where I've purchased something at an expensive price just to later find it on Amazon or AliExpress. And that hurts. I remember when Etsy first started, I was stoked. I'm like, wow, a place that people can make things and sell them. And lately I have found that things are not so much handmade, whereas they're bought from China and then sold for 100 times the price. So that is something to look out for with Etsy these days. I wish it was sort of how it used to be and you knew that you were getting something sort of handmade, but sometimes you are just going to get something from China and they've just marked it up. So what I tend to do now is if I see something on there, I will then sort of look for it online. And if it comes up on Amazon or AliExpress and I know like, okay, this is not something that I want to purchase. These earrings I didn't see on any of those websites, so I went ahead and purchased them. But like I said, I am actually happy with the quality and they look lovely. I also purchased a backpack. So I've been looking for almost a year for a new backpack, like in op shops, because mine was like starting to wear thin on the straps. Hey, that hurt. Hey, that's rough. Sylvie's down here. But I couldn't find one and then my strap frayed. So I just purchased one for the meantime, which sucks, but I need one. And so I picked one that was in a color that I love and it's got this like kitty stuff on there, but I don't know if it's going to last. If it does, fantastic. But in the meantime, I'm still keeping my eye out at op shops for something that's good quality and good condition. So that's what I find really hard. I haven't found any that I've liked the style of that have any good condition. And yeah, no, I want this bag to last a long time. So hopefully I'll get lucky. Have a new orchid. My ex-partner bought it for my daughter, but it wasn't the color that she wanted. So I've kept her in my room and I've named her Francesca, and she's just a beautiful shade of pink. I'm like staring at her right now while I'm talking about it. He also got me another little plant. I forgot the name of it, but it's beautiful. It's got the lime green and the purple leaves, and he put it in a little cat pot plant. So that's also a new addition to my home. In regards to my favorite deck purchase of this month, or the deck that I use this month that's new, it's the Tarot of Oneness. It's just an absolute darling of a deck. The pictures are lovely. It's got such a comforting, loving energy, and I've had so much fun playing with it. It's really good quality as well. And that also is my favorite crochet project, is the bag that I made for that deck. The yarn was spun right round in Vivacious, and I just love the way it worked up, and I love that it sort of has that joy and optimism of the deck that it's housed. So that was my favorite crochet project this month as well. In regards to the other decks, the Oracle deck, Solitary Witches Oracle, was beautiful. The artwork really is stunning, and I did save all the pictures so I can look at them all the time, but I did end up passing the deck on to my mother, who's absolutely loving it, because I felt that after a month of working with it, I'd sort of done my time with it and I'd read it all the way through. That's the garbage trucks. And I just felt my time with it was done, and I got all I needed from it. So I decided to move it on, but it is a beautiful deck. All the other decks I'll talk about all of the decks that I used that were new this month at the end of the video in depth. There were no movies or TV shows or music that was new this month that I really liked. I did get stalked a lot by Miley Cyrus's song Flowers, but besides that, that's about it for purchases and new things, favorites. So now onto my life updates in general. February was, it was a month of grief, if I had to pick a word to describe it. So I ended up getting bitten by a spider, like right here, and got really ill. And then while I was recovering from that, I was also dealing with my kids going back to school. My youngest had severe school anxiety, and so I was trying to navigate that and hold space for her while she was going through it. Seeing a therapist again, and that seems to be helping, and I'm just spending an hour every morning at her school settling her in, but I'm hoping over time I won't have to do that. Then my grandmother passed away. She had a stroke this month, and we were told very soon after, while she was in hospital, that she wasn't going to make it. So we spent a lot of time with her. My mother was there every single day, and we got to say our goodbyes. Lovely that we got to make peace with her leaving, and we got to talk to her and spend some time with her before she passed on. Her funeral is tomorrow, so it's something that I still need to fully process, and I don't think I will until after the funeral. Then my partner of 3 years and I split up, and at first I was okay with it. We decided to stay friends, and we just kept seeing each other every single day. I'm at the point now where I'm not sure if that's going to be what's best for me. It's hard because obviously I'm still in love with him. It's still very new, and seeing him every day and being friends, I do still want to be friends. I still do want to keep his friendship and still have him in my life, like I said, his family, but I'm starting to think that perhaps I might need to take a break from seeing him so I can actually process the grief of the intimate relationship part of our relationship being over. I don't think I have actually really mourned it and grieved it and felt it because he's still been with me every single day, which I've obviously needed. While I've been going through so many other things in my life, I've needed his support. But I'm thinking that maybe once I'm past some of the heavier stuff and life lightens up, I might need to actually ask for some time apart, just so that I can really sift through everything and see how I'm feeling. But yeah, because the aim is to remain friends, but I'm starting to feel like perhaps I need my heart to be able to be, I think my heart hasn't quite understood that, oh, we're not together anymore, and it needs to change its love from a romantic love to a platonic friendship, family love. And yeah, I really don't know what to do. It's like, what do you do? I don't know. It's one of those things where I've just got so many emotions and so many thoughts, and I really don't know what the right thing to do is. And I'm just trying to navigate as I go. That at the moment, our friendship is a bit more than friendship. Like, we do still cuddle and things like that, and I think that might be confusing me a bit. Like, that might be a bit confusing. I don't know if anyone's got any tips on how to navigate from being a couple to being just friends, what worked for you, because that, like I said, is the goal. I want to still be friends and still hang out and still have that close bond, but how do I get there? How do I get there from having been in a romantic relationship for 3 years to that? If you've got any tips, I'm all ears, because like I said, that's the goal, and I don't know if I should just continue as we are now, seeing each other almost every day and hanging out, or if I should take a break. I don't know what to do. So I'm here for anyone's advice that managed to find their way to that goal. But yeah, that's everything that's happened this month. I am hoping that March, it's March now, is going to be a little gentler on me, not as big on changes and deaths and endings. I'm hoping for a very easy breezy. I don't want any more, like, as much as personal growth is fantastic, mine tends to come with tower and death moments, and I would like to take a break from that really like scorpionic transformational energy and just coast. Let's just make it easy, guys. So that's what I'm hoping at the moment. But I've noticed too, the going through all of these things has taken a toll on my health. Once again, I'm always trying to manage my conditions, and when very stressful events like this happen, I get flare-ups. So I'm just trying my best, but sometimes it feels like you're just drowning, and I'm having a lot of those moments, and I'm just trying to be kind to myself and know that, you know, everything shall pass, and we're only human, and some days, if all I can do is just the minimum, so be it. But that is everything for this month. I'm now going to go on to the portion where I show you all of the decks that I worked with this month. So I have a lot of decks that I received last year that are still sitting in a cabinet because I don't like to overwhelm myself, and I only choose 4 decks per month to work with. And so none of these decks were actually purchased this year. They're all decks that I received in December, and I'm just waiting to get through them all. This year has been a low buy year, and I have only purchased 1 or 2 so far this year that I'm still waiting to receive. So I have stuck to my low buy, and I'm really happy with that because, like I said, I've got plenty of decks and I'm still working my way through them. I've also decided that the segment that I do of my deck picks, decks that I've selected to work with, but I've decided from now on that I'm actually just going to work with the new decks that I've selected for this month and pairings with those decks, because I started that this month and that was really fun, pairing oracles or tarots with my new oracle or tarot decks. So I'm going to do that instead and switch things up a bit. And hopefully I'll have more time to film and have that creativity start to come back again. Hey Sylvie, do you want to say hello? This little cat just doesn't stop. She doesn't stop. She has so many cat trees and toys, and she's also got like vertical cat runs because all of my blinds have pelmets, so she runs across them, she runs across the tops of my cabinets, and we're always playing fetch. I think she still needs even more enrichment. Like I said, I think I've got like 8 cat trees and multiple window hammocks and multiple like lower level cat beds, and I've got thousands of toys all over the house. We play and we do everything, but I don't think it's enough. So because every time I open the door lately, she has been running out, and let me tell you, it's an ordeal trying to catch her and get her back in. The other day she actually ran onto the footpath near the street at night, and I was just having a heart attack. But you know, I have to open the door to receive a package, to take out the trash, and she's just so fast and little that she just gets through. So I'm planning on getting a catio built on my deck. I just finished varnishing my deck last month, but I'm thinking that I have to really speed that through and get on that. It's one of those things where also this month I've had to do a lot of like house repairs. I'm having to replace all of the eaves and gutters in the front of my house to hopefully avoid internal flooding, which is what I went through recently, and the insurance will not cover the damage for, because they said it's an old house and you've got to replace everything. So I'm getting that done. My car is still being fixed. I finished the deck, but yeah, I think I do have to get the catio, because at least then she'll get some continual, I have a little old dog door, and so I thought I'll just keep that doggy door open and lead it into a catio on my porch, and she can just go in and out all day long, and that way she's outside. She's got obviously multiple levels there, and she can see all the birds and everything else that's happening. So I'm hoping that will help her. I'm also considering adopting one more cat, a kitten, for her to play with, because my older cats just aren't interested. She constantly pounces on them and tries to initiate them in play, and they don't want to, because I'm just worried that if I can't, you know, if she isn't entertained enough, hello beautiful girl, she will run out. I'm here all day and I'm constantly interacting with her and playing with her and giving her rubs. My cats are not outdoor cats, they are indoor cats. Sometimes, if you've seen videos of Nova, we do let Nova into the front yard because she doesn't stray far from you. She stays within a very small circle, and she's not interested. She's never ever tried to even go up the driveway. She just rolls around on the grass a little bit and sits with us. So she's the only cat that I do let outside into my front yard with me for short periods of time, because I can trust her not to run off. But that's why I said I would like to get the catio so that all the cats can go outside. I thought about harness training. I tried. They weren't interested at all. They did not like the harness, let me tell you that. And it was just like, well, this isn't going to work. And I tried with each of them while they were still young, because I thought I could just take them around the front and the backyard, but that did not work out. So I think catio is the best option, and perhaps another cat. We'll see. I just want to make sure she's okay. And she, like I said, she's been a bit destructive too lately, and I know that that is from boredom. I'm just like, but I'm playing so much with you, lady. Like, I don't know what else to do. Got all the toys and we play all day, and she's got not just me playing with her, but my daughters, when they're here, they play with her, and my ex-partner, when he comes over, plays. So she's got constant attention, but she's just whizzing around. She barely sleeps. She'll have a 10-20 minute nap on my lap and then she's off. So she's just very different to the other cats. I've also got tips on that as well, besides me adding a catio and possibly getting another cat, of what else I can do. Like I said, I've already got wands and throw balls and all these different types of toys. I've got multiple cat trees. I've got window cat hammocks. I've got vertical running space where she runs. I've got a large house. Please let me know what else I can do to make sure she doesn't keep trying to run out, hey? Besides that, she seems fine. Like she does have a lower appetite than the other cats. She really doesn't eat as much. Do you? Do you? Purr, purr, purr. Purr, purr, purr. But yeah, like I don't see any other signs of, you know, like she's not depressed or anything like that. She just opened the door and she wants to go out there and have a look. But the problem is, yeah, she runs very far, very quickly. she doesn't stick close, and it takes me, I have managed to catch her every time, thank God. But I'm always worried that one time I won't be able to catch her if she runs on the road. I just want to keep her safe and happy. Got to keep her happy. But now let's have a look at the decks that I have worked with this month. So this is the Solitary Witch Oracle by Lucy Cavendish, artwork by Lady Victoria. And this one had 45 cards and a 180-page guidebook. So I pre-ordered this based just on the cover, the fact that it was Lucy Cavendish, and the theme was a solitary witch. So like I said, purchase this without seeing anything. So this is the guidebook. Lucy Cavendish writes great introductions. I always read them. So this talks about a solitary witch practice. It talks about figures from history who were solitary witches. There's a lot of information on how to use cards. I love the enhancing your readings. So she talks about essential oils and crystals and herbs, all sorts of things. There's a million spreads in this. So it's a fantastic guidebook. And the cards themselves have about 1.5 pages. So this is pretty much the divinatory meanings right here. The rest of it, they're stories. They're stories about the cards. So it is a very sort of storytell deck. Now, these are the cards. So these are the backs. They're okay. I'm sort of just very ambivalent about them. Blue Angel cardstock is not something I love. I find it very difficult to shuffle because they're just really, really big. And they're also very thick. And I'm an overhand shuffler, so I'm not a huge fan of the size and thickness of the cardstock, but I do love the satin finish. I think that's gorgeous. So as you can see, these pictures do have a border. I'm not sure how I feel about the borders. I see that it sort of frames it as a painting, and these are paintings. You can see some beautiful texture in them. They're gorgeous. I do love the artwork. It is very fairy tale-esque, and it suits the vibe of the deck as being one of sort of stories. The keywords are lovely. I loved them. In terms of how the deck worked for me, it sort of falls into novelty deck for me personally. So because I've gone through it all now and I've read every single entry, I feel like my time with it is done. Some of them I felt were a bit same. Some of the entries were a bit similar to other entries. I wish there was more in the ways of the divinatory meanings, because that's how I tend to like to use my oracles. That being said, if that had been, the fairy tale had been more about to sort of how to use that element in your solitary witchcraft practice, that would have been cool. But they were pretty much like just stories, reading about these women in these images. So it was fun. It was lovely. But I personally do feel like my time with it is over because I've gone through it all, and I just can't see myself using it very often. It would be a very sporadically seldom used deck, and for that reason I'm like, I'd rather not have it sitting there languishing on my shelf collecting dust for just when I feel like having a little bit of a fairy tale or just enjoying the artwork. Like I said, the artwork, I love it. It's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I'll probably take a few photos of my favorite pieces and pin them to a Pinterest board so that I can revisit them. That's what I found works for me. If there's a deck whose artwork is gorgeous, and that's pretty much the main reason I don't want to let it go, I now take photos of it, and that way I've got it forever. I can print it out, paste it in my journal if I'm really vibing with it. So it's definitely something I'm going to do with this one. But I would rather pass this along to somebody else so they can have their turn with it. So yes, like I said, it was a beautiful deck. I enjoyed my time with it, but it's just one that I don't see having a very repeated use in my personal practice. But otherwise, like I said, I absolutely enjoyed my time with it, and I'm happy to move it on so someone else can also have their time with it as well. Hello, so let's look at the decks that I got this month. So the first one is the Tarot of Oneness, and I still don't know why I didn't kick back this on Kickstarter. As soon as I saw it on Amethyst Ascension, I was like, okay, that was a mistake. I need to go and buy it. So you've got the guidebook, which is a rose petal cover. It is full color. You get quite a decent amount about the card. As you can see, you've got a color picture, keywords reverse, about the card, and then they talk in detail about the elements in the card, so why they chose whatever you can see. Like this one has boats, daybreak, and land in the distance. So it's quite substantial, and I do like their little write-ups. So that's the guidebook. These are the backs, which I think are stunning. I love them. I'm a sucker for a rainbow. What can I say? The cardstock is also really lovely. It's got this peach matte gilding, which I love colored matte gilding. The cardstock itself, like I said, is gorgeous. It's a matte cardstock. The images are lovely. Like there are some that are not exactly to my taste, but for the most part, I just really like it. It's very fun and cheery, and I really can also get immersed in the card. This deck also has a couple of extra cards, which once again, bonus, love that. The energy of this deck for me is quite positive. It's hopeful, it's bright, it's gentle. It's like, hello Sylvie. It's like a best friend. You feel safe and you feel nurtured and heard and seen. And I have absolutely looked forward to using it. That's a big one for me. Is like, I really want to pull a card from here today. So I have adored using it. It was just an instant yes. Some decks you just connect to immediately, and this was one of them. Most of the cards, you do get sort of the perspective of the observer. So it's sort of you looking in, but some cards are not like that. Like for instance, the 10 of Cups doesn't feel as much like that, even though you could be swimming with this herd of whales. I don't know what the term is for a group of whales. Or like this one is a bit more direct, like that's your arm in this 4 of Wands. But I love them. I love the pictures. I love the stories. I love hearing about them. Look at this 4 of Pentacles with this little squirrel putting away his nuts. So freaking adorable. But then this one I don't like as much. It's too computer graphic for me. Like it's a little too impersonal. But I have really enjoyed it. So 100% this is staying in my collection. It reads really well for me. It has been, I love the mushrooms. It has been funny to see the difference though in the energies and the styles of like this deck and the other tarot deck that I got this month, and I'll talk about that one next. But this one has been an absolute delight. I really love it to bits and pieces. Oh my God, like there's so much cuteness. Look, sometimes I really love a cute deck, and this is a cute deck. It's got that softness and that childlike energy. And like I said, it's fun. It's fun. There's 2 lovers cards. I kept them both in because why not? There's a more male presenting one and a more female presenting one. So that was the Tarot of Oneness. At the end, I'll show you some other decks I use to play with it, but this is definitely a deck that I can just use on its own. It's enough for me. Some decks it's just like, yeah, I don't need anything else. This is, I get it, and I can just use it on its own. So the other deck that I got this month, excuse the fingerprints, it's loaded. This is the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum Infinity Edition. So I've seen this and I was always curious about it, but I never got it. That's the deck. It comes with a cleaning cloth. Do I use a cleaning? Not yet. No, I have not used it. I'll just show you how it works. I just didn't get it and until they released this edition. And for me, even though I don't like the backs, like I'm not a huge fan of this mirrored backing. I did like the plain black one. They've got a matte black one and that was my favorite. But the color scheme on this is what sold it to me. For me, it's real like 80s. It reminds me of like that Overdrive 80s retro sort of color scheme, and I just vibed with it straight away. I'm like, oh, I like it. It's got a bit of a tech vibe to me, and I think that's because if you can see closely, it's got that sort of computer art in there, like that old arcade game style of imagery, and it's got neons that's mostly like pinks and oranges and yellows and all of those bright colors, and I liked it. Like individually at each card, some aren't my favorite. Like I don't really care for this one's really cool. I like the imagery of this one. So each card, you know, individually, I'm a bit meh about, but when I sort of use this deck in a multi-card spread, I love the color story. I love it. It's like reading a comic book almost, and it's fine. So this does not come with a guidebook. It does not. This is one of the first decks I purposely bought that didn't have a guidebook. And originally I thought, oh, I'll just use the Wild Tarot book that I have as the guidebook for it. So I'll pull a card and I'll read the meaning from the book because I love the meanings in that book. However, the voice of the book did not gel with the vibe of this deck. It was just a complete energy disconnect. I thought there is no way, it just didn't feel right, didn't feel authentic that this deck would sound like that book. So I had to stop and I had to see then, can I just do it without a guidebook? Like sometimes when I use decks, I feel like an energy or voice in my head. It's hard to explain. And this one, I'm like, will it talk to me or won't it? And it does. So I am able to just intuitively read with this deck. Obviously, it's a bit more like short, the messages or the meanings that I get, because I'm just using my own intuitive meanings that come immediately when I place the cards. I just sort of see what message hits me straight out the gate. And I don't get a lot from the imagery. So I'm not looking at like the imagery, like for instance, with this Ace of Wands, and being like, what do I get from the pictures in this? Like I don't really read this deck in that way. It is just a shuffle, lay out the cards, bam, hear the message. So this one reads really, really well for me. I get the messages, and the voice is definitely, the energy is not like the Tarot of Oneness. So this is more straight, blunt, to the point, not going to beat around the bush, but it's not harsh. I won't say it's harsh, but I'm not like getting, you know, a spoonful of sugar with it. It's like, bruh, here's what's up. And I'm like, thanks, my man, like, peace. So I really like it. It's weird, even though I don't, like I said, I don't love the imagery. I do love the colors. The colors have got me. It shuffles brilliantly because it is a gloss cardstock and they just glide right through. So it is easy to shuffle. And like I said, with this one, I'd also prefer to use it on its own. It sort of got that like vibe where it's like it doesn't want to work with others. I'm going to see if I can still pair it at the end of this video with anything, but I haven't actually paired it. I just feel like, no, you don't sit there and also play with me for hours. I don't like it. So, but I normally pulled at least 2 or 3 cards. I like to do more than just a 1-card draw, whereas the Tarot of Oneness, I could just do 1 card and I'd be done. But this one, I did like to do either like 2 or 3 cards, or I might pull one and then ask it to clarify. But I like it. I don't know if I'm going to love it forever, but for now, I just, even though it hasn't got a guidebook, I'm able to just ask it a question and get my answer. So that is the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum Infinity Edition. So I thought I'd show some pairings of the deck with some tarot, just to show what it's like. So for this one, I have used it with the Dreamy Moons Tarot. So I just think, I don't know, I think it sort of goes, I don't have a lot of tarot decks to choose from, but I felt like these two went together the most. They both have a sort of fairy tale-like quality to them. They've got that darkness, that shadow aspect, as well as pops of color amongst the black. So for me personally, I thought they went pretty well together. So you have, and sometimes she changes with the Page of Cups and the 5 of Stars. But yeah, I thought they were quite sweet together in terms of the colors and the vibe of the decks. So I'll just show you one more. So we've got the Maiden, the Mother, the Crone, with 2 of Wands and 9 of Stars. So let's have a look at it with another pairing. So here I've paired it with the Pythonic Tarot, because I just feel like, once again, you've got that darkness, you've got the pops of color. I think aesthetically it's very pleasing. I also get a little bit of a goddess vibe from this deck. So I thought the Pythonic Tarot to me definitely is sort of like a dark goddess type of deck. So here we have the Blessing and the Banishing Candle with Ace of Chalices and 5 of Wands. And here we have a Gentle Path of Inspiration with the Princess of Chalices, 8 of Blades. So yeah, I thought this was another lovely pairing with it, picking up on that sort of feminine, dark goddess, witchy kind of vibe, and aesthetically I thought they were pretty decent together. So these are all the pairings that I played together with this particular deck this month. Okay, so for the Tarot of Oneness, the first deck I thought of was the Asteria Oracle. So that's this one, because they have a very similar sort of almost art style, and even the card stock is exactly the same. So I thought we'll just have a quick flip through and you can see what these two decks look like together. So you've got Ace of Cups with Dimension and Awareness. And then you've got the Seven of Cups with Rebirth and Starseed. Then you've got the Justice card with Portal and Parallel. And then you've got Death and Rebirth with Kundalini Activation. Kundalini Activation. Sorry, that's just hilarious to me. That is hilarious to me. All right, and then you've got Inspiration of Swords with Intuition and Shadow. So the court cards, that's something I should probably mention, are called different things. So you've got the Inspiration is the Page, the Action is the Knight, the Spirit is the Queen, and the Embodiment is the King. Next up, you've got Five of Swords with Reincarnation and Alignment. Nine of Swords with Venus and Timeline. The Sun card with Wisdom and Embodiment. Little owl. Six of Pentacles with Aquarius and Feminine. Wheel of Fortune with Perspective and Transformation. The Emperor with Masculine and Lucid. Two lions. So they both have animals in the deck, which I thought was also cool. Awakening with Mystical Medicine. To be honest, I think these work pretty decent together. Present Moment with Pilgrimage and Grounding. Two of Pentacles with Light and Manifesting. There's not many cards in the Asteria deck, so I'll just go through the whole deck. We've got Three of Pentacles with Freedom and Realms. And then the Star with Karma and Growth. So I do like those two together. I think that was a pretty cool combo. Next up that I was thinking of pairing it with is the Energetics of Color deck. Just put these side by side because once again you've got that similar sort of color saturation that these decks both have. So hopefully you can see those. So this is the Energetics of Color deck. So here with the Star we've got Competent and Rest. Ace of Swords with Passion and Strength. Inspiration of Cups with Remember and Justice. You've got Spirit of Wands. Oh, I love this card so much. With with Release and Hope. So this is Queen of Wands with Release and Hope. You've got Life Force Energy, which is one of the unique cards, with Protected and Carefree. So this one talks about chi. I'll just turn this around. Okay, Ten of Swords with Forgiveness and Illusion. I'm actually really digging these two together as well. I'll just do a few more. Perspective with Playfulness and Birth. I'll change this one first. So then we've got the King of Wands with Simplify and Surrender. Two rainbows being mirrored there. Temperance with Fruitful and Aptitude. Embodiment of Pentacles, which is King of Pentacles with Shine and Expansion. And I'll do this last one. Ace of Pentacles with Bravery and Understanding. So I think, yeah, once again, these look beautiful together. Three of Wands with Patience and Self-Expression. So I think that's another hit there with those two decks. Okay, so the other deck that I was thinking of doing with it is called the Nest of Light. So Nest of Light Oracle. I'll just put my little leaves back. These are not staying. My eucalyptus leaves. Okay, so here we've got 3 of Wands with Inner Sun, Drum and Heartbeat. So this might not work in terms of the keywords, but I just want to see aesthetically if it's a vibe. 8 of Swords with Medicine Wheel and Ocean of Light. We've got 5 of Wands with Green Flame and Rose Flame. So those are 2 protective energies. We've got 6 of Cups with a Bomb of Light and a Bed of Light. 4 of Swords with the 4 Winds and Salt Lamp. So the Nest of Light is all about energies. 4 of Cups with Golden Dragon and Your Armor. Interesting. We've got the Tower with Perfume Magic and Clean and Energize. 3 of Cups, such a pretty card, with Indigo Flame and Unicorn. Higher Self, Crystal Bowl, Blue Flame. I'll just do 2 more. 8 of Pentacles with Seek Advice and Fuchsia Flame. And then we've got 7 of Pentacles with the Pointed Hexagonal Prism and Perception. So these 2 are decent. I don't mind the way aesthetically they look together. I'm not sure if they super go. Like, look, the Hermit with Stars and Metatron's Cube. Yeah, that's a hit for me. But I think it's another one, potential. We've got Knight of Pentacles with Golden Flame and Sacred Herbs. So I think they're pretty decent as well. So those are some decks that go well with Tarot of Oneness. Okay, so for the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum, it was harder for me to try and think of what could go with it. Because like I said, I feel like it's a very solitary energy deck. So the first one that I'm trying it with is the Death Doula Oracle. So we'll see how this goes. We've got Justice with Exaltation and Angel of Incidents. I thought maybe the color schemes might be all right. We've got Wheel of Fortune with Solitude and Drift. Strength with Sun and Unprocessed. We've got Ace of Swords with Sexuality and Romance. Interesting. I don't really associate those 2 together, but interesting. We've got the Sun with Malleable and Serenity. We have the 4 of Cups with Dishonesty and Grace. Oops, this one's upside down. Let me just flip the deck. Philadelphia. All right, let me just do that. So here we have the 6 of Cups with Pleasure and Visual Mantra. So this is also in Roman numerals, which sometimes trips me up. So if I get the number wrong, I'm sorry, guys. So we have the 2 of Swords with Thrombosis and Beauty in Death. 6 of Swords with the Void and Connect with the Dead. The Empress with Work and Abyssal Plane. I don't mind them visually. I will say they're not exactly congruent, but they're not jarring. So we've got the Tethered one, which is the Hanged one with Manifest Self and Regeneration. So that's interesting. The 2 of Cups with Growth and Sensuality. Yep, I'm vibing with that. The Devil. Like sometimes I think, yeah, they actually do go quite well together with Magic and Odyssey. I'll just do 1 more. We've got the 5 of Cups with Torpid and Find a Way. I'll just do 1 more. This is addictive. I see why people like doing this. And we've got the 6 of Pentacles with Formlessness and the Grove. So I think they definitely do sort of match. I like them together. So that's something that I could think of using together in the future. I didn't mind their pairings then. So the next deck I thought that might maybe go is Return of Spirit, because I feel like, well, they're both glossy and they've both got similar color schemes. They're also, this one's feels a bit more cosmic, but it also feels like soul or like spirit journey-esque, soul travel. So, and this one has that same like soul kind of energy. So let's have a look. We've got 4 of Pentacles with Sexuality and Feline. We have 5 of Swords with Celestial and Assistance. 7 of Cups with Caretaker and Shifting. 5 of Swords with Voice and Starseed. 7 of Swords with Storm and Surfacing. The Knight of Swords with Take Flight and Knowledge. Well, I think that's excellent. The King of Swords with Vibrational and Worthy. Yeah, I'm kind of liking the aesthetics of these two as well. So then we've got the, is that 9? 9 of Swords with Simplicity and Change of Mind. Then we've got the 10 of Swords with Fearless and Contact. 3 of Swords with Love and Up. Oh. Page of Swords with Manifest and Mediumship. Interesting. And then we've got the Moon with Music, and I'm just going to do that one. I think that's the one that wanted to come out. Power. Ace of Cups with Prayers and Innocence. Yeah, I think these go well together personally as well. So we've got the High Priestess with Union and Intuition. Well then, my friends. So yeah, maybe I can work this deck with some other decks. So I'm going to continue to have a little play around and see how I go. But these were decks that I received this month. As you know, I'm going on a bit of a low buy. Look at that Fairy Magic, the Magician, Return of Spirit. Low buy year. So these, I did order them last year, but I love both of these two tarots. They were really great for me. Awakening, Birthing, and Immunity. Very cool. And I will be keeping both of them in my collection. So I thought I'd do a little reading so you can see how they read all together. So here we have the Inspiration of Swords. So I'll read from the book about that one. So the Inspiration is the Page of Swords. So we have keywords: inspired, alert, thirst for knowledge, new ways to communicate, full of energy, bursting with ideas, new way of thinking, curious mind, natural communicator, go for it. Reversal keywords: all talk, hasty decisions, misdirected energy, overcommitting, know-it-all, not expressing your truth. Thinking outside of the box will open your mind to new possibilities. You're so full of ideas, they are just bursting out of you. Remain curious by asking questions and investigating all options. If someone wants to challenge your brilliant inspirations, you can work your way through that with excellent communication skills and the ability to stand your ground. With that said, know that you are human and mistakes can happen. Consider them learning experiences, adapt and carry on. You risk burning out if you let your energy get the better of you, so pace yourself. This is just the beginning. Communicate your ideas with others to give them the best chance of coming to fruition. You may feel inspired to engage in public speaking, voice your opinions on social media, or maybe even write a book. Blue poppies. These rare beauties are symbols of imagination and the power of your intellect. Box. The wide open box symbolizes thinking outside of the box. Chickadee. These adorable little birds are very adept at communicating with each other and are renowned for their distinctive tweets. They are associated with extroversion and charisma. Pen, pencil, and paper. You'll need these to jot down the influx of ideas. Gears and geometric shapes. The wheels are turning as new ideas take form in your imagination. So that is paired with the unicorn, a mythical animal that exists on other planes of consciousness. The unicorn reconnects us to innocence, purity, unconditional love, and kindness, but also to unity. We use unicorns to help us cleanse certain dense energies that we cannot deal with and to raise our vibrational rate. It is not surprising that they are considered as magical beings. They come from other dimensions with high vibrational frequency. As soon as we call upon the unicorn or when we visualize it, it represents itself to us and our vibratory rate is automatically high. The unicorn also helps develop intuition and channeling ability. Invite the unicorn to come to your meeting. Let yourself be won over by its magic and benevolence. Bonus: unicorns are connected to the rainbow ray. And then with that you have light. It'll just take me a second to find light because it's not in alphabetical order. So we've got light. You are a pure light being inside a human body. This light is the essence of your soul. As you evolve, so too does your light body. This is known as an activation. Right now, you're experiencing an activation of your light. Dormant DNA is being activated. The light is shining within you and is raising your frequency. An activation of your light body allows for an expansion in consciousness, heightened intuition, innate wisdom, and personal power. As your light expands, you become a channel for source to access. This is coming in the form of sacred geometry, sound frequency, light language, symbols, and channeling. Your divine light is becoming activated. Time to explore the blueprint of creation. Oh, I feel like I'm getting a message about something that is all very similar, and that's paired with mauve, which is prepare. Patterns are changing to accommodate newly learned lessons. You're ready to take a new approach to life, and with that, you may feel like everything needs an overhaul. From your wardrobe to your dress, let the old fall away as you move into a new, lighter phase of life. Physical, going inward and temporary hibernation. Emotional, slowing down, drawing a new game plan. Mental, collecting all the facts, returning to school. Spiritual, rerouting the course to take a more direct route. Affirmation, I am ready. So I felt like these really did read well together. I got a very clear message just then. Okay, so with this one, there is no guidebook for King of Swords. So just some keywords to me. It's got to do with thought and decisions, communication. King of Swords is for me both intellect and intuition. So both of those sorts of spheres. And it's sort of this confidence and decisiveness also associated with the King of Swords sort of energy. So that is combined with prayers. So I'll just read that one. You are being heard. Your guides and angels are acknowledging your prayers, thoughts, and communication with them. This is their way of affirming to you that your messages are getting through to them loud and clear. It is easy to feel as though you are not being heard at times, mainly because the communication feels as though it is only one way. This is exactly why the prayers card has come to you today. Every time you pray or talk to your guides and angels, you are opening up a direct line of communication with them. Although they cannot answer you in the form of words, they are sending you energetic and intuitive replies. Take time after your prayers to sit quietly. Feel your own energy and the energy within your room. You will start to find that you are becoming more sensitive to their presence and may also start to tune in to the divine messages they have for you. If you have not been speaking to your guides, then this card has come to encourage you to do so. Relationships take effort on both sides, and they are wanting to build a relationship with you. Talking with spirit is a powerful way to feel supported, connected, and cared for, especially when we are feeling alone in our physical world. Usually when this card appears, it is because you're much more able than most to hear the messages of spirit. Prayer is a powerful building block in strengthening your intuitive gifts. Begin looking for replies and answers to your prayers in your everyday world as well. Spirit is reaching out to communicate to you. So that is also paired with Manifest Self. This card encourages self-reflection of your current state and promotes one to feel into the future, looking at who you want your future self to be and how your future self would want to feel. Detail and take note of who you are. And so this one also recommends to do a future self meditation and a new moon ritual. I think this is hilarious. Like, this is, you always try to just do a general reading and it's like, no, this is a personal reading for me. It's definitely something that I'm literally going through right now. And even both tarot cards reflected that. So with one, you had the Page of Swords and the other, the King, and the accompanying cards. It's all very similar messages. So I think both tarots worked well with their paired oracles. And to me, they both gave very similar readings, just in a kind of different voice. So those were all the decks that I used this month. I hope that wherever you are having a magnificent morning, afternoon, or evening. And as always, stay wild, star child.